All right, let's talk about CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans from a disastrous first half to a great second half. CJ Stroud, this was not a perfect day, and we'll talk some negatives, and we'll even start off with some negatives. There also were some great plays here, so wild game. Let's just get into it. I'm going to give you my evaluation of how I thought he played in this very fun game. So let's start off over here. So what's going to happen on this play is this is a 3rd down and 7 situation. There's no getting around it. This got off to an awful start for CJ Stroud and the Texans. Absolutely abysmal. Like, this play, it's a 3rd down and 7. Stroud's going to take the snap. Now, there's pressure. He's going to get around that pressure. That's good. Going down the field. And as of right here, you see him fires it. And I don't really know who he was firing that ball to. Maybe he thought Mechie was going to kind of cut further in. I'm assuming that's the case. Or he just let one get away from him because he was off balance. Either way, this one is dropped. Honestly, that should have been an interception, and there's a really good chance that they could have found themselves down 2 scores very early on because they're already down 6. So, yeah, that wasn't a good play. Probably should have been intercepted. There also was stuff like this, which is just not his fault, but still not ideal. So it's a 2nd down and 10 situation. They actually were getting a nice drive going here. They get to the 45-yard line. Stroud's going to take the snap, and there's just pressure really quickly. I mean, I'm kind of someone who always says, hey, just because there's pressure doesn't mean it was the offensive line's fault. A lot of times it's coverage, and here the coverage still is pretty good for the Chargers. It's also a lot of long developing plays, so that allows for the pressure to get here. But this is 2 seconds in. This is too early. Like, you're not ready for pressure here. Stroud gets hit, and it's on his blind side too. So at that point, all you can do is hope you hold on to the football. So that's not his fault. That's just they have to block better, and they didn't block, I think, great in this game. But also, let's give credit to the Chargers. They were making some defensive plays early on. And, something like this I thought was interesting. So one of the things we talked about heading into this game, previewing this game, was Nico Collins. Nico Collins is such an important player for this Texans team. He's a superstar level receiver, and the Chargers like to play a lot of cover 3 zone. They will give you one-on-one shots down the field with your best receiver. That's kind of their philosophy. So Stroud takes a snap and says, okay, well, let's look in Nico Collins' direction. Here's why he couldn't do it that much early on is because look at how far back the corner who's playing him is. They're just not letting you get down the field. They could have maybe peppered him and gotten more yards more over the middle and stuff like that, but the down the field stuff, which is where Nico Collins thrives, they just weren't giving. As you see, this pass ends up being closer to being intercepted than caught. Either way, it's good defense by the Chargers, smart defense by the Chargers. And so for the Texans, there's only so many counters you have to that, right? Although also for Stroud, I mean, he made some bad plays. He did. We're going to get into some of the good stuff in just a second. But something like this, I mean, this was an ugly one, right? Where it's going to be a 3rd down and 8. Again, not getting anything going. Stroud takes the snap, and there's pressure. He's able to kind of, pressure's actually picked up pretty nicely, but he doesn't love what he sees. He could have maybe thrown to Robert Woods underneath, actually, but that's not where his read is. I can't tell exactly if this is just a blown coverage, or I think he's trying to throw this football away, actually. We won't know until the post-game press conference for sure. But you see, I mean, he throws one up, and there's just nobody there. It gets intercepted. I think he was trying to throw that away and just screwed it up. So these are, this is the second one he threw right out of Chargers defender. The first one was dropped. This one caught. He got lucky with Justin Herbert immediately turning the ball over himself. And then the Texans went 3 and out, but at least then they could punt it. Actually, I think they got a first down and then had to punt a little bit after. But you get the idea. But then we had this play, which there's no getting around. It just completely changed the game. It just completely changed the game. So it's a 3rd down and 16. This is zone coverage, so keep that in mind. That's important to note here for the Chargers. But 3rd and 16, 2 minutes left in the half. I mean, you're thinking the Chargers can get the ball back, good field position, potentially kick a field goal and go up 9-0 at the half. That's a pretty great situation to be in. And to make matters worse for the Texans, they screw up this snap right here. Stroud, for some quarterbacks, they would just fall onto football and say, you know what, whatever, we'll punt the ball back. And if that's the case, it'd be really good field position for the Chargers. It's a bad situation. But watch that Chargers player right there, that linebacker. Watch what he's going to do. So he sees this screw up, and this isn't, at least it's possible this was a delayed blitz. I don't think it was. I think he just sees the ball on the ground and says, let me go over and try and get the ball, right? But as you see, Stroud, not only does he get the ball, he picks it up and keeps his eyes downfield, which to me is the craziest thing. Usually you pick it up, you're still thinking fall down or throw it away. He keeps his eyes downfield, and again, it was zone coverage, right? So now a linebacker that the Chargers were relying for in coverage, which, again, I kind of understand what he's doing, trying to help out. It's a tough situation, had to make a call right away. But because he's not there, the middle of the field's open. CJ Stroud notices this, and watch what he's able to do. I mean, that's just unbelievable stuff. And again, instead of having to punt the ball away, they ultimately get a huge gain. And from this point, it was kind of the Nico Collins show. First, there was this one. This was the big one, which I am going to have to pause at a certain point just for copyright reasons. One of those plays that goes on for so long that if I play it for too long, I will get copyright claimed. But a really good play by Nico Collins, and then he had the touchdown as well a little bit later on. So yeah, I mean, just really good stuff here by Nico Collins, by CJ Stroud, and just like that, they have the lead. And then we have to go over here. So after that, we have 22 seconds left in the half. They get a 3-and-out by the Chargers. And now it's, hey, let's see if we can get even more points. You see, Khalil Mack is going to make a great play here. Watch. Really does a good job against Laremy Tunsil. Gets this quick pressure. Stroud, to his credit, though, is, despite the fact that it's the left tackle, not easy to see what's going on behind you, is able to notice it, steps up in the pocket, and realizes, hey, I got some room to run here. As you see, he gets around there, and now here, so this is actually Eddie Jackson who's running in. Yes, the Chicago Bears great player. He's now with the Chargers, trying to make a name for himself. This is not going to be the way to do it because he takes a bit of a bad angle, but also, again, is Stroud going to slide here? Stroud's not sliding. It's the playoffs. You got to keep going. As you see, great play from CJ Stroud to be able to get in field goal range to ultimately get a field goal, and then it's 10-6 at the half. It's like, oh my goodness, this is going a complete other direction. Now, he did have a third play that went to a defender's hands. I'm probably going to be a little bit nicer in this situation. So right here, this is the play. You see where he's looking. It's Dalton Schultz. It is this sort of one-on-one matchup here. Stroud throws one up. Derwin James makes a great play on this. I think you could argue like that's why you don't try Derwin James in that situation. Perhaps. I get the logic there. And I would also say you could have pushed it maybe a little bit further. It's just a great defensive play, though. It doesn't ultimately get caught. I don't know. That you could, listen, at the end of the day, results matter. You threw it to a defender's hands. But hey, I guess results matter too because the defender dropped it. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, not his best play for sure. But then going over here, I have very little plays to show in the second half because like they pretty much were in kill the clock mode for a good chunk of this. But here's one of those plays. It's a 3rd down and 10 situation. They're trying to kill the clock with 5.5 minutes left. Stroud takes the snap, and Joey Bosa seemingly has just immediate pressure on Stroud. And this is, earlier I was kind of saying like the pressure's too quick when it comes that fast. Like, what are you supposed to do? Well, Stroud's going to make something happen. Watch as he scrambles out. He's going to not pick up the first down, I suppose. They said he was down slightly short. Seemed like it was close enough. I thought he got it, but nonetheless, they say that he was just short. They had a quarterback sneak and got it on the next play anyway. But still, very good play from CJ Stroud, right? Turning nothing into something, allowing them to, just continue this drive, which is really important. So as a whole, I mean, like, listen, was this a great performance from CJ Stroud? I don't know. Like, is his PFF grade going to be great? Probably not. Was this an impressive performance? Yes, it was. Going from the bad first half to all of a sudden being able to turn on a dime, making some of these great plays, like, you can argue, like, does the good always outweigh the bad? In this game, the good outweighed the bad, I think. So definitely some good stuff. Also helps when two of the interceptable passes end up not getting intercepted. That helps. But even if they were, I'm not sure that would have been enough in this game. So yeah, good stuff by the Texans. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.